They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the laughter? Hold your tongue and hold your breath. Is it life or just a softer
Welcome to the Happy Submissive podcast. I'm Marian, also known as Piper Blush all over the internet. Yes. And well, I asked myself the questions, why submissive women are happier? And it so happens that I'm the answer to that question, and that's why I wrote the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier. Welcome to this Saturday edition, which I don't know if it's going to be like a thing or not, but this is an impromptu Q&A with myself and Piper. Two in the same person, yes, Marian de la Croix and Piper Blush. So if ever you have any questions and you want to interact with me, this is broadcasted live on YouTube on the @PiperBlush YouTube channel, and you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast, and I mean wherever. That is Apple, Amazon, Spotify. Ask your smart speaker or just go in your player. I've tried that yesterday. It works. Now, of course, the Happy Submissive, well, that can be difficult to pronounce sometimes. And there's a whole bunch of other types of shows, but not podcasts that have the same title. So just so you know, you can follow it by clicking the bell or the notifications or subscribing to the podcast. That way, every time there's a new episode, you are notified, because we are producing a lot of episodes these days. Yeah, where's that thing? We do Monday to Friday, and tomorrow, Sunday, the 26th of October, we have a special guest, Liam Peters, who will be here to answer our questions, comments about his book, Thinking with the Wrong Head.
This is going to be epic.
Yeah,
I can't wait for tomorrow.
It's gonna be, we've never had somebody on the Happy Submissive podcast so far. He's our first guest.
Yeah.
We're losing our virginity.
And he's thinking with his dick.
And he is thinking with his dick.
And it's going to be fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Where do I have this? All right, so you can drop your comments. Who is the vocalist on your team song? Well, me. You can actually get the team song, which is titled Why Submissive Women Are Happier, on Spotify, Amazon, like everywhere where you listen to your songs, like even YouTube. So if you go and search for Why Submissive Women Are Happier, you'll find it.
And if you go to happysubmissive.com, it's right on top.
Yeah, it's true. It's right on top. So you can listen to it and re-listen to it however long you want it to last for. Thank you, Richard, for that was Greg for the comment. Richard says, love you from day one.
What day?
Yeah.
What day one?
When was that day one?
What year?
What year?
What year did they one?
What year was that?
We want to know.
We definitely want to know. So this is going to be an open conversation. It's going to be a podcast / well, it's live, right? It's live. So don't be shy. I've opened the comments to everybody, even if you're not a subscriber. So make sure that you actually write something in the comment section. On the YouTube live, it's like a chat box. You want to put stuff in there. Yeah, just comment. Comment as much as you want, because you have access to myself right here, right now, and you can ask me anything. It's like the YouTube version of Reddit, right? AMA, ask me anything, but on YouTube, yeah, which is same but different if you think about it. So what happened to me, like the past few days, few weeks, it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. So many things happened. So first things first, on the 3rd of October, released my book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier.
How many books did you sell?
60 books.
60 books.
We sold 60 books.
In 2 weeks.
In like 20 days, right? In 20 days. Oh, we have a new newsletter sign up. Thank you very much for signing up to the newsletter. And here we are. I'll drop the book link. Not book link, but the book link. The link for the book in the comment section. Yes. So it is mdelacroix.com. And you can get the book there. So it was released on the 3rd of October. We sold 60 books so far.
Congratulations.
Thank you. To myself and all of my team and everybody supporting me in this. And to all of the people who bought it. I mean, 60 books within like 20-ish days. Let's say 22 days now that we are the 25th. Well, that's a lot.
What's the feedback so far?
So far, the feedback has been that it's a lot of the fans of Piper Blush, right? Thank you for the congratulations, anime. And the feedback from the Piper Blush fan is, of course, a bit different from the feedback from people that know me in my personal life. But so far, the fans have loved to see like the reverse, right? Everything that happened behind the scenes of everything I was doing on the internet. They say it reads really fast. Like there's nothing like lagging. Most of them only say they would like more. So I guess I need to write a trilogy. It's gonna be like Star Wars, right? We have the prequel, the sequel, and then all the other stuff that we're not sure. What even is Andor? But there's too many now. You can't follow.
It's a planet.
Yeah. How many planets are there in Star Wars?
A lot.
There's even planets that have 2 moons.
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's a lot. Yeah, exactly that.
That being said, well, the book was released. Early reader feedback is super important. When you are reading the book, when you have purchased the book, we ask you to actually review it in a little page that is early reader feedback. That way we can tweak it for the second edition. Yeah, because right now the book is only available on happysubmissive.com and mdelacroix.com. So you can get it there in audio and EPUB version, but you can't yet get it on Amazon. I'm waiting for this feedback to like tweak it so that then when I launch it to Amazon, I don't do like 5 editions or other editions, right? Because that's a longer, more complicated process. And I just don't want to take it away from Amazon, put it back on. So that's that. Thank you, Carlos, for the congratulations. Very nice. And Richard, who was saying that he followed me from day one, means that he's been following me since the Piper Blush experiment. So I would say that was definitely the beginning of YouTube, because the Piper Blush experiment started 2 years after I started myself as Piper Blush. So there was a 2-year there before I jumped in YouTube, and I talk about all of that in my book, like the whole how that happened. So you've been with me for about, I would say, like since 2017.
How old is he?
Yeah, how old are you, Richard? Like, if you don't mind me asking.
It's a guy. Guy don't mind.
Guy don't mind the age thing, huh? Okay, who else do we have on here? Dennis. Why?
UK lady, write something in first.
I don't have it yet. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. There it is. UK lady. My boyfriend and I love you, Piper. Thank you for the love from both genders. This is so great. I do have a lot of couples that follow. Like when the girl is really cool with that, and when like some of the women are okay with their femininity and things like that. Like I have had some couples follow me on OnlyFans, even with my other websites, and they kind of watch me together, and I love that. And they talk about like either the themes that we go over in podcasts that I've done in the past, or just like sexual things that are on the internet. So they can have a conversation about it.
You need more women to read your book.
I definitely need more women. So far, the feedback has been mostly masculine, and I love that. But I mean, the book is me as a woman writing this. So I would love a female perspective on it, or more than what I actually have right now, because I believe this book is as much for men and for women. It's just a different angle, right? So there's the angle of me submitting to a man to get to where I want to be in life and finding happiness through that. So, but there's also the angle of like the man. I think you can very well see the man, or my master husband partner, his angle from me, from how I was looking for this type of man. So if you are a man, it works for you too. You just have this other perspective, this female perspective about how maybe, females will see you or abort you in that way. And she says also, let me scroll up. Yeah, this is happening. What part of the world would you like to see? Oh, what part of the world? Like on a geographical map. I would say that where have I not been that I would love to see? Definitely not somewhere cold. I don't like these places. I think I would.
Iceland.
Iceland. I've been to Iceland for like 6 hours. It was not great. I did not like that. Just like no. Not because it's not beautiful. I mean, it is, but it's just like it's cold and it's just so windy, right? So windy. And I stayed in the airport because I had a layover, and they trick you. Yeah, they trick you into like doing the layover in Iceland, buying a puffin like plush, and you staying there for like 24 to 48 hours, and they sell you Iceland like that. But that's great for like their economy, because so many tourists go there, because like half the price of a plane ticket if you go from Iceland to anywhere else in the world. But then you go to like the Blue Lagoon and you go to all these other stuff,
And you hope it's not closed that day.
yeah, and then you go eat at restaurants. I mean, they have great restaurants, I've heard.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, yeah, they have hot dogs too, huh? They love hot dogs over there. So I mean, I was in the airport for about 12 hours, and I was like, wow, I understand why now my plane ticket costs so little. So not Iceland. I think I would like to go to one of these places that is like paradise, like the Seychelles. I haven't been there. I've been to Reunion Island, which is close, but it wasn't that paradise-like. Fiji would be a good one too, because all of these like tropical places, not to live, but just to see and be in for a little while, take pictures in like this backdrop that seems unrealistic in that way. Plus, I love bikini weather. I don't know how to say it in some other way, but I just love bikini weather. Okay.
Richard said that he's 65.
65. Well, you see, you are in some of my my normal age group. Yeah, normal age group.
He was more than 18 when he started watching you.
He was a lot
which
more.
Is cool.
Well, yeah.
Because the kid the other day.
Yeah, because there's this. I get that more often now, but a little bit less than I used to. I mean, within the past, I would say 3 years maybe. Well, 3 to 5 years since I've been online for about 11 now. For the past 3 to 5 years, I've received a lot of guys who are now, I guess, men, saying me, "Oh, I used to watch you on YouTube when I was young. Now I can finally subscribe to you." So that means you're like 18 right now. So you were like 12, right? When you were watching me on YouTube?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
I know you from the beginning. How old are you?
Yeah, and they're like 18,
you're like 20 right now.
Exactly.
What beginning is this?
So I was like, for some of them, it's so beautiful, right? You're like a guy's first erection. And Liam Peters talks about this in his book, and it's going to be interesting to have him over on the podcast tomorrow. But yeah, you're like boys. And I'm saying boys because like when you're little, as a tiny kid, either you're 6, 7, 8, 9, you know these age where you have like your first erections to women? I mean, there's something that happens. It kind of like you fall in love with that woman. It's not just sex yet, I guess, in that way. There's a lot more. And so I've had this from men now that were boys back then, but I was talking to them when they were boys, because they couldn't access my paid websites, and they were saying all of that, like, yeah, I used to like watch you on YouTube. You were my first erection, or like the first girl I came to. That's like a great compliment, right, from a guy. This is like you will be in their minds forever. It's done.
Next time you just ask, did your dad did a chargeback on my site? Because he used the credit card of the dad, that kind of stuff.
Definitely some boys use the credit cards of their fathers. I've had that. I actually had not that many, but I remember one email where a father sent me an email and he was like, "Hi, my boy used my credit card to subscribe to your website. I did not.
Thank you.
I wish it said that, but it didn't say that.
I want a refund, and I don't want a refund. Where I can leave you some tips."
Well, he said he wanted to cancel because it wasn't. Well, he didn't make the transaction, and he talked about his wife a little bit and about the fact that it was his kid who did it, and just wanted to know how he could cancel the credit card. But yeah, it was cute. I mean, it's super cute. Like, you go and you steal your parents' credit card to buy a subscription to a girl you want to see naked because you're like, what, 13, 14? At least you didn't go to the free sites. I mean, you wanted to support me.
Yeah, that's good. Good boy.
He's a good boy. I mean, this is great. It's way better than all the other stuff out there. So yeah, those are the types of Q&A questions that we can have on the Happy Submissive podcast in the weekends. So on weekly, daily shows, it's more podcast style, meaning I have like my script, my text, and I'm here with my producer, and we talk on the podcast, but there's some interaction, but a little bit less, and that's why I want to use these weekend podcasts, these Saturday, Sunday brunches, to really get interacting with you, because it's been a week of podcasts. Maybe you have things to say about one of the episodes that we released. Maybe you saw a short video on our Instagram, which is at Happy Submissive, on TikTok, on X, on Facebook. You've seen something in the news and you want to talk about it. Well, this is where it's happening. This is where the fourth wall breaks and we get to talk to each other. So what else we got in the live comment section? I have here. Okay, so yeah, Richard65. I love Piper. Thank you. That's from Marian. I'm interested in how your deal with selling on Amazon. Okay, so this is from Anime, and this is about the book. Right now, like I said, I'm not selling the book on Amazon or on any book platforms like Kindle or anything like that. I'm selling the book on my own website. I'm doing that to keep more control and also to keep more of that money so I can reinvest it in the book in that way. So you can find the book on happysubmissive.com and buy it. And I'm doing something special. For the first 100 people that buy the book, you get access to the actual EPUB book. That's a book that you can download. It works on your desktop, on your iPhone, on your Android phone, on your tablet. It's just going to download itself, and then you can open it in anything. So when I say anything, it means that if you're with Apple, it's probably going to open in Apple Books, unless you have like some other weird app. If you're at Google, it's going to open in the Google Play Books. And if you're just on your computer, you can just open it and it's going to do its thing. So that is included, but you also get the audiobook included. So for one price, you get the two. You don't have to choose between the two. You get both. So you can audio and read, or you can read while you audio. I don't know how you want to do it, but you can do both. So they're both available right now. Yeah, that's how I'm doing it. I will do the Amazon and the Kindle and the paper version once I get to that second edition. So I'm collecting all this early reader feedback, and I have to add that the first 100 readers will get their name in the acknowledgement of the physical book. That's gonna happen. So right now we're at 60 books. But so there's 40 places left for you to get your acknowledgement in the physical book. Yeah, because you were an early supporter of everything we're doing right here, right now, that's how it's gonna go. For the rest, for the selling on Amazon and the paperback and all these things, well, this is just, I mean, it's just like a few buttons and a few clicks and then it's done. But I really want to get all of you guys' feedback to make this book a bestseller, right? So I need you as a focus group so that I can tweak the book, so that it is as best as it can be before we release it on all these other platforms, and that we actually get reviews on Amazon and on Goodreads and all these other wonderful places. I hope that answers your questions. If you have more, just ask me. Yeah, being a first-time author, it's interesting, but we can talk about anything you want on here. Piper is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. Just to wear white on the podcasts felt like it was a better color scheme match than black for some reason, but I do wear a lot of black in real life. So if ever you meet me in real life and you're like, oh my God, she's not wearing white, it's still probably me. If you see the buns, yes, you hear the accent and watch like for the collar around my neck. Yes, I don't think I've seen many of me in the real world. I haven't. There's nobody else other than me. So it's pretty easy to recognize me wherever you are in the world. Did you travel to Japan? Well, actually, so when I was writing the book, went to Oxford. We did this collab with Marta Clinta Steele. Yeah, Marta Clinta Steele. She's on Instagram. You can go look at her. She's also on OF and Patreon. And so we're in Oxford for a few days for Darren Brown's show, but also to do this collab with Marta. It was amazing. I mean, we shot a whole bunch of content together. We also went around in Oxford in places like I had never been there, so it was great. Then I ended up going to Germany for like a day and Brussels for 3 days. I saw like mannequin piss. and there's also a little girl that pees. There's not just the guy, which I didn't know. And there's also a dog that pees. It's like a whole peeing thing over there.
The little girl thing is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I have to say it's weird.
Yeah, the girl is weirder than the guy. We're used to guys like peeing in public or things like that, but the little girl, we're just not used to that. Or maybe like we hide more the little girls in general when they pee. I don't know. It's just, yeah. It was interesting.
Please don't write comments about that.
No comment. So was there for about a week in total, like this travel. Was supposed to go in Japan. Yeah, I was supposed to go in Japan. But it so happened that when we were traveling, it was really hard to write. And I was at chapter 8, I think, something like that, of my book. Yeah. And I had another I ended up having 24 chapters in the book. So I was at chapter 8, and I'm not going to do the math, but I was just not writing enough per day. It was like impossible to write. You have to like go out to eat breakfast and then go out to eat lunch. And then you want to see things because you're there, right? So it was too complicated, so I decided to come back in Vancouver and finish the book instead of going to Japan. Though it is still on my list. I would love to go there. Just that's kind of a culture type of travel, right? And not so much in a like tropical destination type of vacation, I guess, travel. There's a few things that really amaze me about the Japanese culture. Having not been there, I don't know much, but I've seen this movie, A Perfect Day, and that was like, was it Perfect Days or A Perfect Day? Like this.
A Perfect Day.
Is A Perfect Day. It was beautiful. It was this man who is happy, and since the theme of this podcast and of my book is happy submissive and why submissive women are happier, it's very interesting, this angle of this movie. So it's this man, he must be like late 40s, I'm assuming, maybe 50s, but he's not that gray. And he works for the city as a janitor in public toilets, so public washrooms in that way in Japan. And he goes over and you just see his life. And this movie is so, I'm going to say like slow. For it's not James Bond. Like you won't, it's not cuts every 10 seconds. But you don't get bored of it, right? You just watch.
It's one of the most beautiful movie I've seen, I have to say.
Yeah. And the philosophy, the way he washes the washrooms. And I've heard like interviews of other people talking about watching this movie and then never washing their washrooms ever the same way again. It's like the act of being present, right? And the act of having this job, which most people would say is, of course, like a completely lower level job, submitting to society, to bosses, and all these things, but finding true happiness and just like submitting to all of that, but having all of this other time to himself and having the perfect balance in his life. I think there's a lot of work-life balance in that movie, I have to say. But he found that for himself, and that's why he does his job so well. I mean, he cleans the toilets so well. And he does it with this presence, this happiness. He's like totally at peace with himself and with his choices in life. And I found that so beautiful. So that brought me to think about the Japanese culture in a bit of a different way, or in another optic in that way. And I wanted to explore more and go more. Also, there was a thing that was a bit more popular back in the day, not so much now, but in Japanese culture, women that are stay-at-home mothers, that is a job. Like that is seen as a real job over there. And it was for a long time. Of course, dynamics have changed a little bit. And so some women go and work. But they even had things in in their like political and laws and all these things to make so that women who are housewives actually get the insurance of their husbands.
I think they also get money.
I think
I think they also get money for that from the government.
Exactly. There's a lot of incentives that make it so if your wife stays at home with the kids and becomes a homemaker, I think that's the words we can use here in like North America. Well, you get all these benefits, but not only that, she is seen in the eyes of the law as working. So she gets the husband's like pension. If he dies, if something happens, she gets the money of the husband. So it's kind of mixed together, which I found was very fascinating from a culture that had like geishas in like long time ago, and now to have this housewifing that is, and it was completely respected, right? It was not like, oh, a housewife or oh, a woman that decides to have baby. No. She actually takes care of the accounting for the home. She gives actually the husband like the not an allowance, but she has to be intelligent and she has to know all of these things to be able to manage the home. So it's not the submissiveness that most people assume. Like, say, oh, she's submissive. She just does the stars when she has sex and brings you coffee. No. There's real job going on in there. And yeah, that I found interesting. So Japan is definitely on the list. Let's see what else we have here. So UK lady says, you would do great at hedonism resorts. I've actually been to not hedonism, because there's two, right, in Jamaica. I've been to Desire. Yeah, Desire. And that's about, I think, 2 years ago, the Desire.
There was still some clip on YouTube.
Yes.
About this.
Yeah, there are clips on YouTube, on the Piper Blush Experiment YouTube channel, about my time at the Desire Resort. Well, I mean, I have a lot of things to say about the community, but the lifestyle, the lifestyle people, right?
This is not the community,
swinger.
this is the lifestyle. Are you in the lifestyle?
Are you in the lifestyle?
What do you mean, vegetarian? Vegan? No, the lifestyle.
The pineapple lifestyle.
The pineapple,
I eat
the reverse.
upside down pineapples. Yeah. I eat reverse pineapples. I went there because like everything I do, most of my life is an experiment and I want to try things and see if it's for me, right? But I am not a swinger. It's not because I did erotic movies online, and it's not because I did show my body on all these things that I am, I would say, an easy woman, or that I'm just going to have sex with everybody. I don't have sex with everybody. I'm not a swinger, and I'm not like, I'm not this open to like having sex with random people at random places, which I understand all swingers say that's not what they are. But from my experience, that is completely not true. Like, I would say 80% of people in the lifestyle do have sex very quickly, especially at these resorts. It was full of drugs, for one. Lots of alcohol, right? Because it's like open bar. It's an all-inclusive. And people got rashes from the hot tub. So I did not go in the hot tub. The jacuzzi hot tub thing.
This is not cool.
This is not cool.
Have you been to the hot tubs? You better not.
No.
I got rash.
Like two women told me this. Of course, everybody is respectful in that way, for sure. Like the lifestyle has that to it. And I understand that maybe me going there would be like, oh yeah, everybody could have sex with me. And I got many offers, for sure. But I'm just not like that. I'm just not like that. I don't know how to say it. You can say I'm a tease. You can say like I'm prude, whatever. I like to show my body, but I don't like to have sex with random people at random times and places. And I was like that maybe in my 20s. Like, as you can read in my book, I've had a few crazy experiences. I've been on sites. I've tried things a lot. But it's just not something I need to have a connection with someone. I need to talk to somebody. And for them, when I was there, and I'm not even generalizing. Like, I mean, it happened to me so many times to just be there, sitting there. Somebody says, hi, how are you? And then, can I kiss you? And I'm like, oh, thank you. But I mean, I don't know you. Like, we don't know each other. For one. For two, it's like, oh, yeah, no, I only have I like to have conversation. I don't have sex with everybody, like in the first hour or so. Like I really like to have a connection with the person before I do have sex. And then 2 minutes later, you see them with that person you were just introduced to having sex. So it's not true. If you're in the lifestyles because you want to have sex with other people and you do have sex with other people and there's just a lot of sex going on, that's it, right?
And it's the new name. It's polyamory.
Yeah, polyamory.
No, you're a swinger.
Yeah, same, but different.
Swinger tried to rebrand themselves.
Yes, the younger generation of swingers is now E&M and polyamorous. And if you're polyamorous and you're alone, you're just like serial dating, right? You're just having sex with people. And polyamorous means you fall in love with people. And how do we fall in love with people nowadays? We have sex with them on the first date and then we see if we fall in love. So polyamorous people just have sex with you and then they say, maybe we'll fall in love later. That's kind of the way polyamory goes. Because I consider myself a true, I guess, demisexual, sapiosexual, and polyamorous person. Yeah. I can and do love people, but I need to connect with you first. I don't want to have sex with you on the first day or on the first night because I don't know who you had sex with. I don't even know if you're into me or into whatever I know I'm kind of like, I'm doing nothing and I'm kind of sexually irradiating, right? I like to be feminine. I like to be like that, but that doesn't mean that I'm just going to have sex with anybody. So that being said, it was a cool experience. Yeah. Really cool experience. And I understand people who want to have sex. I just don't understand the fact that we're putting these labels that are just just say you want to have sex. That's it. Stop putting something else over it. Stop saying you're polyamorous or you're E&M. I want to fuck everything before I die. I feel like hedonism is a better word for it, but also that is an older word that goes with the swinging and all of these other, like, for me that would be my parents, but even like their parents. That's kind of that generation. And I'm a millennial, so I understand the Generation X and Generation Millennial and then the Gen Z are rebranding this. I completely understand it. But in the end, same, but different. Yeah.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low.
Rob
But
or
how
Robbie?
far down
Robbie
does freedom
101 says, I think a better way to hold a podcast event is to hold a discussion between you and at least one other person on the stream. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why I have some other person here.
Yeah.
Producer, hi.
Hello.
And
tomorrow we're going to have another person with a
Exactly.
visual this time because Rob's going to be happy. He's going to have a visual.
it will have a visual. Yeah, so there is Liam Peters coming over tomorrow, October 26th. If I'm saying this is because of the time frame continuum of when and where you're going to see this, well, now you know which episode to look for. And so we will have guests. The point is to have guests. But I've learned from my long experience in podcasts and in content creation in general, you cannot wait to have people because unfortunately, you have to do your thing alone and then people will come. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the podcast, well, not so much alone. We are two on microphones right now. But the point is to have guests as often as we can. I mean, if I had a best friend that was also a content creator and or an author and was also doing things that were very similar to what we're doing, I would have her on the podcast every single day. But it's just not like that. I'm trying to find another content creator that is willing to do that or would want to do that or is already doing that. That'd be even easier. But it's just like, people do their own thing. So that being said, if you know anybody that wants to be on the podcast, make sure you share the Happy Submissive podcast with them. And I'm actively searching for people, even like people who are not necessarily authors, but are just women or men who have lived different experiences and want to share it with the world. Yeah, this is what this platform is for. in general. And what else is Robbie saying? So between you and at least one other person on the stream, for sure. And I understand that. And the discussion will provoke queries. Yeah, because it's not a one-sided conversation. Could you tell us more about this necklace? That's from Denis Lucette, 7997. I believe Denis Lucette, Dennis Lucette. Maybe it's Anglophone, but can you confirm this is Francophone? So I will tell you more about the necklace. I say everything about it in my book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier. The necklace is actually a collar. It is a BDSM item if you take it from its source, or it is, of course, if you've seen 12 Years a Slave. It's a collar. So it's people say, oh, dog collar, or you have like is it jewelry? Is it a necklace? If you are here only in audio, it is a round circle made out of metal. And there is what is called a DO ring attached to it. A DO ring because one of the ring is a D and the other ring is a O. And they go between each other. It is a bit like a dog collar, quite frankly, because you can attach something on the O, right? The O is this big kind of cavity. Then you can just like hook something to it. I've had this collar for now, 11 minus... So that'd be like 9 years. Yeah, I've been collared for 9 years. My relationship with Master, which was like at the beginning was not Master, it was a person, Vincent. Well, it started, and I talk about it in my book, it started, and we wanted some of the similar things. It was the 50 Shades of Grey craze. I was watching a lot of erotica. I was writing a lot of erotica too. I was exploring my sexuality, early 20s, you know. And when we met, there is like this first meeting where he put a collar on me the first night, and we had sex. So see, when I said like I was promiscuous, I was back then, not anymore now. And we had talked for like 3 weeks before we met and everything, and I felt like we really had this kind of connection that allowed me to do that, right? So that being said, he did put a collar on me, and it was a leather collar, not the type of that I have right now that is metallic. Yeah, I got this collar as a symbol of loyalty, ownership, devotion. I mean, it's just like a wedding ring. It is like that for most of the BDSM community. I wouldn't say I'm 100% into BDSM or the BDSM community. I would say I'm more in a special gray area. Because my relationship with Master is not only BDSM, it's also mentorship, and it's also a partnership, and it's also like teaching, and there's a lot of things. He's been a guide to me. He's been like almost everything in that way. So the collar I have is for me a wedding ring, and I had it for like I said 9 years, and I wear it all the time. I never take it off. It is from Eternity Collars. You can find other collars online, but that one was the one that he chose for me. And I have been upgraded since. So I had the first collar that you can see in the first Piper Blush videos. It was stainless steel. That was the very first one. And after about a year, maybe 2-ish. I mean, it's all in my book with the dates and all. Then he upgraded me to a second collar, a gold collar. And if you know me from the internet, you've seen these color upgrades. And some people were not sure. They were like, oh, was it the same color before? Was it the same color? And was it the same color? It's always the same. It's just the color and the material upgrades or changes. So I had the gold one. Then I had a stack. I had the gold and silver. Then I was upgraded to titanium. Yeah, after stainless steel, like I got titanium. And then after that, I got one you see here, but different. I had black and gold, but it wasn't real gold. So I go over all of this in my book, and I feel like for me, the color is more important than the wedding band or the wedding ring, because that was true submission. That was like true devotion shown. And like I say in my book, I mean, you you can be in a scary movie, yeah, and like cut your hand if you're handcuffed to something. You can even like cut your feet if you're handcuffed, or like feet cuffed, I guess. Cufflinks. I have no idea. How do you say that? Is there even a word for that?
I have no clue.
If your feet cuffed, let's just call it like that. If your feet cuffed to like, like in Saw, like the feet cuffed to like this thing, like this, yeah, where like water goes in and you cannot get uncuffed from there. Well, you could saw your feet off and run away, and there's not that many chances of you like dying. I mean, yeah, maybe you empty some of your blood, gangrene later, but you could run away. You can't cut somebody's head and expect them to walk away and be like, yeah, it's all cool. No. So having like this collar around my neck, and for me not to be able to take it off unless he does with his master key, I feel like that is a true symbol, right? And a bit like the wedding ring, which is on the finger. I mean, that works too. And we did get married later in life, but for me, the real wedding was really the collar and not so much the wedding band. Wedding band was just because I was going out a lot. I mean, we were going out a lot, and most people didn't think I was married. Most people, of course, thought it was just like an accessory, jewelry, or like, oh, she's a bit kinky, or she has this cool necklace. And I felt like, oh, that was not enough. Well, for many other reasons. I mean, tax reasons and other things. Being married is advantages. And it does symbolize love in a way that most people can understand, right? A wedding, a real wedding, I mean, is that. So got the wedding ring, got the wedding, and did the normal way after a few years as well. Mm-hmm. And I've been married for a long time. Like, some of you guys maybe did not want to see it, or did not see it. But the collar, I've always said I had a master. I always said that the collar was his. And then when I got married, I've always had my wedding ring on my finger. So you can go on my sites or on any Piper Blush video and look. And you will see it's been there. It's been there for a long time. Yeah, I know, grief is so sad, right? So sad. But that is why I tell you how to get your own submissive wife. Yeah. And you can go right now, because I created this booklet yesterday on how to get your own submissive wife, your own submissive woman. Yeah. It's on happysubmissive.com. Once you subscribe, which is like a membership to support the Happy Submissive movement and podcast, you get the booklet. The booklet is free, and there's going to be other incentives and other things that I will give you and get you, because not everybody, like the book why submissive women are happier, that's a different thing, right? That's a different thing. But there's so many things that are not in the book, that at one point I was like, okay, I need to like focus, right? And even Master was like reading the book and he was like, okay, focus on your story and we'll do all the rest, or you'll write all the rest of the stuff you want to write in booklets or in podcasts, and all of that you want to say, you'll say it. It's just, the book is Why Submissive Women Are Happier. So you need to keep it to your story. It's a memoir. It's about my life and how Master and I found each other and everything he helped me do, everything he did, so that I am the person that I am today, and why for me submission worked, and I am happier being a submissive woman in that sense. So you can go to happysubmissive.com right now, and you can create a free, like totally free account, and then if you support the Happy Submissive movement for $4.99 a month, you get the booklet right now. Yeah, so that's cool.
And many more things to go.
Yeah, many more things will come your way. We just like launched this like yesterday. You guessed it. I have a French name. I knew it, Dennis. I knew it.
Where are you from, Dennis?
Yeah. Where are you from? Feet cuffs. Shackled. Oh, shackled or shackles. That's from Midnight Smoke. Okay, so that's how feet cuffs are called, shackles. Well, now it makes sense. I've heard this in movies, right? When the prisoners and things like that, they have shackles. Nestle says, Nestle Roy says, my first time to attend your live, Piper. Well, thank you for being here and for joining. Like I said, the Happy Submissive podcast is available wherever you listen to your podcast. But these weekend episodes are really cool because we get to talk to each other. And also, I know a lot of people work on weekdays. So even though they can listen, they might not be able to watch. Even though the Happy Submissive podcast is recorded live, every time I do a podcast, it it's live, and then we take this recording of the live and we put it on all of the podcast places. Grief is still a #1 Piper fan, I guess, even though I'm married. which is a good thing. So drop your comments, drop your questions, drop anything that's been happening in your life that you feel you need to talk about right here, right now. Because like we were saying a few moments ago, well, the book has been launched 20 days ago, and then the Happy Submissive movement also was launched very recently with the avenue of this podcast, the Happy Submissive podcast. Yeah, because writing a book was great, and it's amazing to have finally wrote my story and wrote how I found happiness through submission. For me to share this with women and men out there who aren't happy in their situation with their partners or just with society and everything that's been happening to them. So I decided that I wanted more, right? The book is kind of like this vehicle. You can listen to it or read it, but then we need a bigger place. Once you're done reading the book, what do you do? What do you do if you want to connect with people that feel the same way as you? What do you do if you want to find some of those women or men that believe in submission and in being masters and all of these things? Well, that's why the Happy Submissive movement was created. And you can hashtag Happy Submissive on any of your social media, anywhere. And we are creating this movement where men can stay masculine and stay man with purpose and confidence, and find women who want to be submissive and who want to be feminine, and keep these different roles that are natural, and just for us to live together and to complement each other the best way we can, so that we can all be happy and purposeful, and we can stop waking up late and hating our jobs and all these other awful things that are happening in society right now. So coming back to that, that happy days, or that my book, why submissive women are happier. It's really about that, about finding people like me and about sharing my story so that more people can be oh, okay, there's another way. There's another way. Because I was raised with the feminist way in that way. I was raised by thinking I need to be independent and oh, you should go to school and you should do all these things. It's not that I did not end up being a successful, famous, with money, woman and beautiful and all these things. I did end up being more of a CEO than a lot of women who actually went to school to be a CEO. I have my own companies, I run my own business, but I did so, the way I ended up there was through submission and not through school and through pushing hard and to trying to be a man. I did it trying to be a woman, not a man, which is completely reversed. And I did that under a man who wanted me to be a woman and not just another man, right? So drop your comment in the live comment section. Snoopy, hey, what's up? That's good that the video is done live. Yeah, I think so too, right? It allows for more interaction, because even though the podcast version on the weekdays is more about me talking and it's not necessarily a Q&A, if you have a good comment or a good question, I will read it and say it in the podcast. Don't worry about that. But if you just say hello, it's not as interactive as it would be. Think of it as when you listen to the radio. Sometimes they read comments on the radio, but they don't just read, oh, Bob said hello. That's not what they say. They're gonna read the comments that are on team, that are meant to either be the other guy was saying earlier, they're meant to either shock the host, which is me. So if you want to be this other person, this guest on the podcast, and argue with me or debate or send your opinion, well, that's exactly what you can do here. This is what this is meant for. It's a portal, right? It's an interactive portal. It's called a chat. What else we have here? Carl Piper, have you ever watched Evie Lupine? She is an inspiration of mine and very knowledgeable. I think, Carl, you've talked to me about her. I think that rings a bell. I'm not sure if I have watched her. If it's been a few years, that might not be in my scope. But let me just copy paste this and put it in my bookmarks right now, so that later on. So what does Evie Lupine do? BDSM and sexuality educator, YouTuber 18 plus only for your resident kink, a sexual lefty. So that's what she is. An American educator, YouTuber, and content creator that focuses on kink and BDSM. See, this is very interesting. Like, this is the kind of person I could definitely have on the podcast and we can get talking. Because like, so there is this kink BDSM part to me and to the book too. I mean, there's some sex scenes in there, and I am colored, so I do resonate with parts of BDSM, and even my master sub relationship has tones of that. I mean, there's discipline, there's things like that, but in its core, it's a lot bigger than that. It's a lot more like when you say master because you had a master who taught you all these things. You know, like a mentor, like someone that was older than you when you were younger and that brought you to whatever heights you were in. Especially in the arts. Most arts, even though you go to school to do them, you need a teacher or someone really close that has succeeded to show you the ropes, to show you how you can succeed. And there's even this story with a writer, and he was just like signing books, he was doing his thing, and another writer was there with a friend. Okay, so they arrived, and the friend was like, oh my god, it's that writer, like wow, it's that writer. And the other writer, the three writers, let's call him like the writer. He was like, actually, let's go say hi. But he didn't say he knew him. He just said, let's go say hi. So he was like starstruck, the other guy. And they walked to the table, and the guy at the table literally gets up, kneels down, and says,
Master.
Master.
My master.
My master. And so this author learned from the other author who was his master. And why is it in that context? Of course, everybody was surprised around the table at the book signing.
Because he completely kneeled to the guy. And this guy was a known writer. And he kneeled to another writer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But he kneeled because he taught him everything, right? Because there was this respect for this man who showed him how to become more himself. And it's like that with pianists or like musicians too. Most have like tutors, like mentors. They have masters to show them this. Even there's a book, Robert Greene wrote a book called Mastery. He wrote a whole bunch of books like 48 Laws of Power and The Art of Seduction, and I've read all of them. But in Mastery, he says mastery. He doesn't call the book master, and I know why, because I'm getting a lot of shit from that word right now.
yeah, just somebody wrote a comment about it.
About what?
Yeah, the stance, a lot of people would be offended, I think. That's what he said.
Okay.
It's because happy submissive.
Okay, yeah, I Dream of Jenny was the only place I heard master. And then, where else can I see master?
He said, like, most people in modern society would be completely offended by that stance.
Yes, exactly. And it's true. It's true to be offended. But the problem is that, I guess, with 50 Shades of Grey mostly, like, which has promoted BDSM, and with like the avenue of pornography and everything online being so like open and in this way, some of the words have changed. A bit like the word swinger, right? Like we were talking earlier, the word swinger and the word polyamorous and E&M, and now like we're just E&M, we're not swingers. Well, it's the same thing. I feel like the word master means everything it has always meant, but for some reason we're just kind of focusing on that one BDSM part when the word master has always meant a lot more than that. I mean, master is like a master's degree. If you're into electrician, if you're an electrician, when you get, I think it's the red card, like when you get like to that top electrician, you become a master electrician. Even in France, like some parts, you would call your teacher master. You would say maître. Or maîtresse. Even when I was in kindergarten, I would call my teacher maîtresse, which is the feminine for master. In some places, you just say ma'am and sir, madame, monsieur. But these are signs of respect and loyalty that are there. The word is the word.
It's still that in French.
It's still maîtresse in French.
They call it maître or maîtresse. Mm-hmm. It's mostly maîtresse because they're women, but
there's more women in the educational system now, and well, there's always a lot, but of course, when you say why submissive women are happier, and then you say I have a master, I understand that people think only of the BDSM angle, but that's exactly.
Actually, also the BDSM, but also like, you know, the beat up women around the world.
Yeah.
You know, you're submissive, you're sorry.
Yeah. You've been like beat, abused, or you have no free will, you have no choice. And that's exactly what I talk about in my book, is that it's about conscious submission. It's not about submitting like, oh, you just like stay there and you do nothing, or you find a man and he does everything for you and you do the cooking, the cleaning, you stay inside and you take care of the kids. It's not that. But I like the fact that people are like, so I think it's so controversial, right? I like the fact that people are just like, they shut down to that word, because that's exactly what I'm trying to prove, is that this word has a lot more to offer than what we instinctively think about it. So it has been rebranded as this like, oh, a guy's a master, so he's a wife beater. He's
Just like the t-shirt.
just like the t-shirt.
You got a wife beater.
I have a
right?
wife beater. Yeah, but I'm not a wife beater.
You don't have a wife.
I don't have a wife. it was so the word master for me means all of these things, and I understand the slaves had masters, and I understand a lot of people, when I say I'm a submissive, people assume I'm a slave, which is okay. I mean, it's like that in the king community. I get it, but everybody submits. Everybody. The word submission means you submit to power, to hierarchy, to your desires.
To
sometimes.
Facebook.
To Facebook, terms and conditions. I mean, you submit to technology, right? Every time you put your email somewhere, every time you use an app, you're submitting to whatever this private company has in mind. Like their philosophy, how they will monetize, how they will use your information. Like we're already submitting.
How they will use you. Use you.
How they
You've
will
been
use
used by
you.
Instagram.
Of course you are. You're worth something on there. And what I'm doing right now with the Happy Submissive movement is telling you that you're already submitting. If you're a guy, you're doing it anyways. What I'm telling you is be conscious of how you do it, why you do it, to who you're doing it, and then choose. Like choose to submit. Don't just be a submissive. That's not like, that would be being a slave. That would be you're being captured, or you have no free will, or there's no growth. There's nothing going on with you. Then submitting or submission is everywhere, in every social interaction. There is somebody that's on top and there's somebody that's at the bottom. It's just like that. So we have masters in society. We have people that have this knowledge, this wisdom.
Gay use that. I just realized that gay use it.
Ooh.
You know, are you a top or a bottom?
Yeah. To prove dominance.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. If you're a bottom, usually you're the sub. You're the one getting the stuff in you. And the other guy is the one giving it.
You're the Twinkie.
You're the Twinkie if you're young enough. and that's the whole point of the book. That's how I became a conscious submissive. And it's not true that submission is not happening. It's happening to you right now. I mean, if you have a bus, you're submitting to them. If you go and take the bus, you're submitting to the rule you have to submit to in the bus. We all live in a society. We all live with other people. They are all there. The rules, the laws, like all of these things, and the people that have more money and less money, and all of that. Yeah. So master in my book, and for me, is to submit to someone who is knowledgeable and who has something that you admire and want. And by doing that, you get to where you want to be in life. And quite frankly, that's exactly what anybody you would ask that has done something worth doing in life will tell you. They have submitted to someone. They might not use this name, but if you are an Olympian, you've had coaches. You've had people to help you get there. If you're in any type of sports, that's going to happen to you. If you're in any type of arts, somebody will have taught you how to do this art. Then of course you do part of it on your own. Like you have to find your own voice and your own self. But you have a coach. You have somebody to tell you and to show you how to do it. You don't just do it yourself. Robert Greene, in his book Mastery, he talks about like one person who did it kind of alone, and that would be like
Adam. Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. Yeah, because had nobody else. I think he talks about, is it Da Vinci, who did it a bit more on his own. So he started drawing alone. And then he had a team, and then he read a lot of books. So he didn't have a physical master in that way, or very little, but he did read a lot of books, and he used these books as masters. So that's also doable, and that's why we watch YouTube videos, right, to learn things. And that's why we consume books and sometimes videos to get to that level of mastery, to get better in life, or to get the knowledge we want. We submit to this person, and there's even master classes. A master class is not a teacher class, or it's not.
What? It's okay to say master class.
Yeah,
but not submissive.
Exactly. But when you're watching the master class, you are the submissive.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not the master. Else, why you would do your own master class? You won't watch the master class. That makes no sense, right? So that is why the word master is so important, because it has so much of this this baggage and this weight to it. And if everybody finds their master and their purpose and they submit consciously, we will have a better world, and we will have more happy people for sure. I know it because I'm the proof.
We're gonna make a book.
We're gonna make a book, another
master class of submission.
The master class of
then
submission.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
because it's using masterclass and everybody's using masterclass.
Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah, but then you're not controversial, and then you're not like all these other things. But I understand the confusion, but I feel like nothing is clear in life, right? You need to clarify your message, and you need to clarify whatever you're doing. And this podcast is only like a week old, and the book is only like 20 days old. So I'm getting this feedback, and I'm getting like opinions of people, because I've been like doing this for a year and a half alone with masters, some of my friends, of course. I've like read parts and things like that, and I've talked to them. But in general, it's now being confronted to society and to what people think and how people react to it. That's what's been happening for the past 20 days. And for the podcast, for the past like 10 days. So of course, I still need to tweak how I talk about it to be able to express myself in the way I really want to express myself, because I haven't rehearsed all of this. This is who I am. So it is complicated, and it is dirty, and it is messy, and it means a whole bunch of things. It's not one thing, but all humans just want the one thing. Oh, we want master to be associated to BDSM, that's it. It's more complicated than that. It's more complex. My relationship with my master is a lot more than just BDSM. Like I said, I'm going to use the word holistic, but we are a muse artist couple. We're an age gap couple. I mean, we are an heterosexual couple. All of these things can apply. He was also my master in business. I mean, in advertising, like all of these things. So it's not just one thing. And I believe that if you want a master, and if you want to get to where you want in life, or if you're a man and you want a submissive, you can't just offer one thing. You can't just offer to be dominant in bed, because at the end, if you're just dominant in bed and you're not dominant in like the rest of your life, well, she's not going to submit to you. She's going to do it in bed. It's going to be for sex. And that's one thing. But then the next morning she can tell you, pick up your socks. And then like, how are you as a man going to be able to get it up next time, trying to be dominant and trying to be like mad? Oh yeah, she told me to like, you know, like Valhalla and like these Vikings, they would like never exude anger so that they could beat people up on the battlefields.
Berserk.
Yeah, berserk. So they could go berserk. There was probably mushrooms involved in that, and not the ones you put in spaghetti.
And lots of alcohol.
Lots of alcohol, lots of drugs. But that being said, you don't want to be that guy that becomes, like we said, like, you're using oh no, she didn't tell me about my socks, so now I'm going to be dominant and now I'm going to be mad. Dominance is not about being mad. Being a master is not about beating your wife or your girlfriend. It's about being masculine. It's about being you as a man. That's what it's about. So all these little things that, you know, it's like start to accumulate within a couple. At one point means you won't have sex anymore, because the real domination and submission, the real like master sub relationship is not there. It's only in bed. It's fake, right? It's just one part. It's not all of the rest. So it has to be an holistic approach. It has to be something that you do everywhere in your life, not just in that one place. Or else it's going to become very difficult to see clearly. I believe, but what do you believe? Tell me in a comment. This is the Happy Submissive podcast, in case you've been listening for a while.
Just sorry, I was reading the comment, and at some point I can see that YouTube like hides comment.
Oh.
And if you write submission, it hides the comment.
Yeah, that's how controversial we are. Well, that being said, okay, so it has the submission, and of course, like some of the videos like that I've posted, why submissive women are happier, also gets hidden a lot. That video was not monetizable on YouTube. Like we were talking about this earlier, but I did not choose the easy battle, right? Did not choose the easy way. For sure. If I would have made a book about even traditional gender roles are easier to sell right now with the tradwife movement and all these things. But that's the whole point. The whole point is to go counterculture, to go to where I feel there's a lack. Like, thank you, Carl, for Evie. I mean, Evie is great. She's in that BDSM educational thing. But what about the middle? That's where I think I stand right now. And only time will tell where exactly Happy Submissive and Why Submissive Women Are Happier, the book, will stand within all these other women doing this type of content. But I am not in the BDSM community to its fullest, like I assume Evie is. But I'm also not a tradwife. I don't have 5 kids. I don't live on a farm. I mean, I submit to my husband, who is my master, but I also have my own companies, and I also do my own accounting, and I'm also a public figure, which means that if ever something happens to my husband/master, I can still make money. I'm not dependent on a man in that way. I'm dependent for guidance and for becoming better and growing into a more beautiful woman, but not in that way that some of these women are. So I feel like I'm in the between of the tradwife and the, well, kink porn star, let's call it like that. And I have done erotica, so I think like I'm really like in the middle, really in the middle of this. And you tell me if you found women that are in this middle, but I haven't found any. And I haven't found me or my relationship with Master in anybody else so far in the 11 years that we've been together. And that, I think, is why it was so important for me to write this book. And also because I've tried. I've tried to help women who wanted or told me they wanted to be submissive, or told me they wanted to be dominant, or told me they wanted to be financially independent, or told me they wanted a purse. Whatever. Like all of them. I tried things. I experimented with them and opening them their own accounts, or trying to mentor them, or just like all of these things happen. And it's just, it hasn't worked out with most of them. So I believe that the problem is not there. The problem is bigger. It's societal. And it's with like the feminism and the anti-feminism. And there needs to be a middle ground. There needs to be a place where women can be women, men can be men. And for submission to be conscious, that's the most important thing. And for men to also be masters or be dominant, but consciously, not just because it is expected or because they assume they want that.
Even YouTube submit to the advertiser because they censor everything, and they submit, YouTube submit to the advertiser. Yeah,
YouTube submits to the money, right? I talk about this in my book. Master and I went to one of the YouTube Space events. We were invited. Piper Blush was gaining maximum traction. It was like within like the first month and a half, and had 100,000 subscribers on the channel, and we're talking like within a month, right? So it was crazy. I was not supposed to be invited, I'm sure. They were just like, oh, she popped up.
They didn't know who you were.
No, nobody knew who I was. Like literally, except for one girl, Davison Videos. Hey, Davison, if you're listening to this. And so we were invited there, shook some hands. Some people slowly but surely understood that I did other type of content online. Had less friends than I thought I would have. Sorry. And so there was at one point a big room that we went into to I'm gonna need a water break. Give me a moment.
Kneel down and you'll find peace in chains of gold. You're released. A pretty smile, a silent song.
As I was saying, there's this big room, big beautiful room, and we had so there was a schedule for the YouTube Space event. So there was like little events within the few days, and creators like gathered. We did some workshops on how to make better YouTube videos, all these things, and it was great. So went into one of the rooms because it was like minus 15 to the time we had to be there. We sit down. It's like, oh wow, it's beautiful, but why is nobody here? So it's fine. Maybe like, YouTubers just always late. So it's like the drummer of the band. So we get there and the room is beautiful. There's even champagne bottles like in the back. There's like a bar. And
real champagne.
Yeah, real champagne, not like bubbles. like just like white wine with bubbles. No, real champagne. There's even like some type of food gonna be served there. All the chairs are like they've taken the time to do like you do in weddings, right? So you put like some white over the chair so it doesn't look ugly. All these things.
Also with like gift bags.
Yeah, there was gift bags. It's on the table at the back. We're there. It is starting to be like, -5. You're like, okay, there's nobody here. This is weird. But we're still gonna just stay there because it's nice chairs and there's champagne. So we're gonna wait. If it was like canceled, if it was a bit later, maybe we can drink free champagne. But some guy comes up to us and says, "Hey, you guys are not in the right room. Like this is for advertisers, not for creators." And we're like, "What?" Like, okay. So this was the room for all of the advertisers, and it was YouTube Space Montreal. So they were doing something to get money from possible advertisers, so from possible companies, big companies, that were going to promote their products, brand on YouTube. And that was like their mingling party. I guess they had a PowerPoint presentation for them to see how they could convert, so like ROI and all that stuff. So we get out, we go to the other room, which was our party, it seems. There was no bubbles, no food, not even water. I mean, there's nothing. And everybody was there, all other creators like us. So we all sit down, and I was here. So you were here. See, maybe you were. I don't know. So in the YouTube Space in Montreal, so YouTube was submitting to all the advertisers because YouTube is just an ad platform, right? YouTube needs money from advertisers to be able to survive. They don't make money any elsewhere. Like that's how they roll. Same thing for Facebook, same thing for Instagram. They take a cut out of these ads. You pay to put your ads. I did it with my book. I put an ad for the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier, on Facebook, Instagram, and Meta in general, so Threads too. And so it cost me $100 for like 3 days, approximately. No, 4 days. And I ran the ad. So that's how they make money. You, as a consumer, as a viewer, you are worth something because your eyes are worth something, because your eyes usually come with a wallet. And so you will buy, or you will see these things, and later on you will buy. So YouTube and everybody in there, like in there, submits to someone and something. This is just the way of the world, and we shouldn't like be mad and want anarchy. Anarchy's not good. That's not a solution.
Or just be mad at one word.
Or just be mad at submission, or just be mad at master. In that way, because words, and I think that's why probably like America, as the United States of America, is like pushing free speech so much. Of course, words have impact. Of course, words do things. I agree with that. But at the same time, if you want a word to become something, if you want a name, even a name like Piper Blush, which had no history, no nothing to it when I took it to become something, you need to talk about it. You need to make it mean something. And historically, the word master has not meant as bad as its counterpoint. It hasn't.
Django Unchained.
Well, yeah, Django Unchained. I mean, of course, slavery and black Africans and like all of that. That is, I think, yes, of course, it weighs a lot on that word. The master-slave word, like, weighs a lot more. But if you look at it historically, there's a lot more master that are more, I'm going to say light and not into like slavery at all. It's more a term to say like sensei, like teacher, like guide, like mentor. It's someone who teaches you something, who brings you somewhere. That is what the word master means. Unfortunately, there is that connotation, yes, of the master slave. And of owning somebody and paying for somebody, and then this person having no free will, no no bank account. I mean, and just no nothing, right? They're captive. They're like totally captive. Yeah, protector's a good one, Western civilization. Yeah, a master can be a protector too, in that sense. And so, of course, you need to understand, you need to consciously know, and I know this. I know what the word master means. Like, I've been using it for the past 9 years, openly in public. I call my husband master everywhere. And, of course, when I was living in Quebec, I said master, and I was living in a French province. So I was calling him master and not maître, which might have been a bit like less noticeable for more people unless you speak English, which not all Québécois do to that extent. But here in Vancouver, I still call him, name him master everywhere we go. And whatever we're doing, that's how I address him. Because that's a sign of respect. That's a sign of loyalty and devotion to him. That's it. So this word has all this baggage to it. Of course it does. But I mean, that's what makes it so powerful and so beautiful, is all of these things together. And that's what makes it the difference from master sub to master slave as well. The word submission also, or submissive, has a completely different connotation. It doesn't mean just stay there and submit or be submitted with. No. It means growth. It means evolution. It means the same thing that the word master does mean. I mean, they're supposed to be complementary, right? They're supposed to be feminine, masculine in that way. Mistress is preferred here. Well, yeah, some people, or if you're a woman in a position of power or in a position of teaching and guiding, or in the BDSM community, like dominatrix and things like that, you will use mistress. And I've used it. I've had some of my submissives or some of my even employees and things like that call me mistress or ma'am. And it makes sense, right? When you're in the army, you say ma'am and sir. When you're in a respectful environment, that's what you do. So there's also the you in French, which is different. Like in English, you have just one you. In French, we have you or you, which is different.
You know what would be beautiful? As an example, you go to a restaurant and you hear a girl saying master to his husband.
Yeah.
Then it means that your movement, it's going to take off. It's taking off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I'm going to hear it, like in real life. Or it's like when you see somebody reading your book, right? And you're like, oh my God, that's me. It's my book. They're reading it in public. Like you've achieved something. It's like being recognized in the street. Same thing. You're like, oh, this is out there now. And I think this is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of movements, right? I mean, the hashtag *MeToo was a movement, and then it became another movement because it associated with all these other things. But at the beginning, like it's just words. And then you make them mean something. Happy submissive means you should consciously choose to submit. And that is what makes you happy. And so submission should be a happy thing because we all submit. So instead of being angry, submissive, hating your job, hating your life, hating your partner or things like that, then and feeling like you have no choice and you're just stuck, well, just snap out of it and start submitting by choice to all these things that you want and don't want. And that also means don't submit to the things you don't. And that will make you a happy submissive. But in the end, you're submitting, whatever you want to do or not. Western civilization says, when I call her kitten or doll, it implies a protective relationship. Exactly. You make it mean what you believe it means in that way. And so in an intimate situation where you are, let's say, more in the BDSM community, or even as a couple, if we go more mainstream, just a couple. Some people say honey, some people say butterscotch, or I don't know. There's so many words, right? There's some people say love. And that's how they call their partners, right? This is the title they have for their partners. Some people say husband, wife. And that changes the whole dynamic of the relationship for sure. To have this specific name. And I tried that. I tried the honey. Well, the French is chérie. I tried that, but it just didn't stick. It didn't represent everything I felt for the man I was with. And it didn't represent the way I wanted to feel myself as a woman. Like to say that word, to be just like, oh, hey, lover. It's not that these words are bad, but just for me, they were too mainstream. And they did not they did not say anything. Like everybody would hear them so much that they just become kind of in the background noise, right? Nobody kind of hears them and questions it. When you say, hey, honey, at the grocery store, nobody listens to you. Nobody knows what you're saying. You're part of the background noise, right? But I've had this often when I'm at the grocery store with Master and I say, hey, Master, some people will turn around. Some people will question their life. Some people will do like weird faces. Some people will hate me. Some people will look at him like he is like not a good person. But in the end, at least like you're getting a response for once from these people. And it is my truth. It is the truth. That is what this word means. And that is what he means to me. Nothing else works. Like I've tried all of them.
There's Carl says like should he call his wife Vita Master? I think it would be Mistress.
Oh, should I start calling Vita Master? Yeah, no, it should be Mistress. Yeah. Okay, it should be Mistress because Master is masculine, right? You can't call the masculine feminine. No. Master is for man. Mistress is for woman. Different king, queen, right? And these days we are like changing words. There's like author now has in French autrice, which is the feminine of author. And so we're seeing this movement, and I think that's something I like about feminism right now is this differentiator, right? We're saying in French there's another word when you say you killed someone. It's there's a French word for saying that the person that was murdered was a woman. So there's homicide, which is man, and in French there's féminicide. It's like feminicide. I don't know if it's the same in English, but that means that a woman was killed and not a man. So there's this differentiator, and you should differentiate according to sex. You should.
I think this is really good. I think, women are women, men are men.
Exactly. And so there's this difference, and it needs to be stated within the title you give. And it's especially complicated when you would have, let's say, a doctor, because you don't know if it's a woman or a man. And so it would be good to have that in all categories, I believe, so that we can automatically differentiate. So if you want to have a mistress in that way, I mean, you should call Vita Mistress and not Master, because she's a woman. Also, this is another interesting point, and that is, are women mistresses? Yeah. Does a mistress have the same power as a master? And I do not believe so. No. I believe that dominance is masculine and submission is feminine. And it doesn't mean that some women don't have wisdom and power and all these other things. I mean, one of the best examples would be something like Emmanuel Macron. And his wife, who was his teacher, and she is older than him, or like even Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, she was also sort of his mentor in that way. But in the end, it's the men that were the public figures in that sense, right? So the women were still behind the scenes, and that's still the men who led in that way. So I find it fascinating, like all of these etymologies, the words. And we could say, like, for myself, that master has stayed in the shadow and has made me what I am. And I talk about it in Why Submissive Women Are Happier in my book. And you can go get that right here, right now on happysubmissive.com, so that we can keep this conversation going and this movement, like, propel the movement. Because really, this is all that it is. Like, she may have a manly appearance. Sorry, that completely disturbed the flow. Well, I mean, okay, maybe she has a manly appearance, but there's really only, you're born a man or a female. That's it. Like, that's it. And whatever everybody else is doing with gender roles and genders and like all these other stuff, if you go to the hospital and you need to be treated, we need to know if you have a penis or vagina. That's pretty much it. It's not the same hormones. It's not the same anatomy in some places. So I feel like we need to make that clear everywhere, so that you don't die. And that is like, that for me is the basis. Just like for women to have rights is the basis of humanity. We need this human basis to be like that everywhere, so that then we can have philosophical discussions, and then we can go higher. with other things in the world and in life. But the main needs to be like, it's there, it's like that for everybody, and that's it. Now we can philosoph about it, we can talk about it, but in the end, if you go to the doctors, they need to know if you have a penis or not, because that's going to be completely different. And, well, yeah. So that brings us to the Q&A and Happy Submissive, the podcast. It has been out for only like a week. So if you have anything you want to add to this or say, make sure that you leave a comment wherever you're listening to. If you want to reach me personally, directly, just go to happysubmissive.com. And there is a hello@happysubmissive.com. You can leave a comment there. There's also the
register. People need to register at happysubmissive.com.
Just go to happysubmissive.com. You can create a free account right now. Super easy. You just click join for free. You put in your email, you put in your are you a male or a female? Because I have already a booklet for men that is available when you support the podcast for $4.99 a month. And I will make one for women too. Yeah, it's in the works. I'm writing it right now. And there will be a lot more things going on the Happy Submissive website. I want to have like a community tab for us to exchange like what we're doing right now, but throughout the day. Okay, so throughout, like whenever you feel like it, we can have this type of open-ended conversations and this back and forth on the website. So there will be all of that, just that we're constructing it as we go. So make sure you go there, send me your feedback, send me what you'd like to see appear on there. If you would like it to be more of like like a Fet Life, but in the middle, like I am. If you'd like it to be like a Discord and all these things, I want for us to build a community on #Happy Submissive so that people who believe in the movement and who want to know more about the movement or who are the movement and just didn't know about it, but they've been like, that's been their truth and their life for their past years, like myself, well, they can go there, right? And talk to other similar people. And so we can change the world and all become happy in that way. What else has been new? So that has all been happening and a lot more will happen. Like I said, tomorrow, October 26th, we are going to have Liam Peters on the podcast and he will talk about his book, Thinking with the Wrong Head. I met Liam when I was at the Parker Hotel at the bar and I had my manuscript there, the book, and I started talking to these guys that were just like right next to me that were celebrating a Thursday after work. And I said that like, yeah, I wrote this book because I saw it there because I was advertising it. And Liam said, I wrote a book too. So that's how we kind of met. And then but the book was not finished. I was still like tweaking some of it and I was looking for an agent back then. Still don't have an agent or a publisher or a talent manager. If you know anybody, they say it's about 6 degrees. So please do share me or share whatever insight you might have for me to find one of those. And so when the book was finished, went back there with a couple of friends and he was there. And so it was like, do you want to be on a podcast? And let's talk about your book. Because the book, Thinking with the Wrong Head, is about some of the themes that we go over on the Happy Submissive podcast. I mean, it's a guy who has lived his life in a more chaotic way, a lot of like benders and a lot of sex stories. The book is mostly like sex stories, but it's also how he dealt with his masculinity and with like his friends and how he dealt with his sex life and how he's, I guess, and we'll ask him this tomorrow, but how he's kind of torn between all these things he wants to do and wants to be, but in the end, he just wants to have sex like a normal guy person. So that's going to be tomorrow. Make sure you bring a friend, okay? Make sure you bring someone.
Yeah, bring a friend.
Bring a friend because it's Sunday. So it's going to be Sunday brunch. Make sure you bring one person at least. And if you want to do some early reading, well, Liam's book is available on Amazon. Thinking with the Wrong Head. So you can go purchase it right here, right now. And then we can talk about it tomorrow all together. It's going to be the same type of podcast. So we will have the live chat open. Liam will answer your questions. I'll answer your questions. And we'll go over everything. So far, I've read a few chapters of Liam's book. And it's quite amusing. It's arousing too at some parts. And I think we all feel a bit like bad for him, but at the same time, some things he does, you're like, oh, I would have never done that. But if you think about it, you're like, maybe actually I would have. It's very humane. It's very humane.
Maybe you did something different, but it's the same thing. Same, but different.
Same, but different. Yeah, because there is some truth to it. And he is really open in his book. So if you're a man, he is a man, right? He's a man, and that's his perspective on his penis and his many, well, I'm not going to call them conquests because he's not really a womanizer, although he could be a sort of Michael Bublé that likes women. Yeah, in that way. But he's also more for the MILFs, just so you know. Well, from where I am in the book, we'll see if things changed. Yeah, or if they have changed. So I'll see you in the Happy Submissive podcast on YouTube at Piper Blush for now. And you can re-listen or listen to this episode or any episodes on your podcast player and just ask or search for the Happy Submissive podcast. Yes. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, well, follow us on all of our social media, mostly Instagram, Happy Submissive.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they